Chinese acquirers acquiring U.S. Companies receive more scrutiny. This is tied up, with a number of issues, charges of currency manipulation and intellectual property theft, the North Korea situation. So there is more scrutiny being applied to Chinese acquisitions, but I think it's also important to watch the reality rather than the rhetoric. And as I was saying, so far we haven't seen a dramatic decrease in the deal volumes. 2017 has had a lot fewer large acquisitions by Chinese acquirers. And I think part of that, frankly, is tied up with the Chinese government's own directives to some of the large conglomerates telling them, to reduce their debt-fueled acquisitions abroad. This is all over the news now. So, a part of this is we need to watch what the numbers tell us rather than a lot of the, heated rhetoric that we're seeing in Washington. So it's important to note that investigation, which is just starting, is a process under the WTO rules. And if the process is completed and there's a sanction that comes out of that, it would take the form of tariffs being imposed on Chinese goods being sold into the U.S., which is different from blocking certain acquisitions of U.S. targets on national security grounds. Part of it is a different context, but this is all tied up in the larger issue about what is the relationship going to be between the U.S. and China going forward. There's also, a lot of talk about border adjustment tax being imposed or other measures that have been, proposed by the administration. And, similarly to the IP theft, if they crack down on that, there's actually a possibility that those measures would increase demand for U.S. targets by Chinese acquirers in order to gain access to the U.S. market. Our tax planners at my firm have been quite busy answering questions about how companies from different countries can position themselves depending on how some of these proposals play out. But at this stage, it remains to be seen how those proposals will actually play out. It's not clear which of these proposals will actually be carried out. And, given the size of the U.S. economy, given China's development trajectory and their foreign currency reserves, it's not going to be an option for Chinese companies to ignore investment in the U.S. market. So I think in the long term, the structural forces are a good reason to be optimistic that this deal flow is going to continue, despite some of the political challenges the two countries have in their relationship.